My name is Carol Herman. I am interviewing Mr. Arnold Solomon, who will tell us his story about his experiences during the Holocaust. Mr. Solomon?
Nog English.
Yeah.
After coming back from Russia, like camp, working camp, then we put me and my family in the ghetto Hust. There was my family. We was there about 3 weeks. The men, they sent to the work, and the women stay in the ghettos. It take about 3 weeks. Then they put together all people to make 3 transports. They send out from the ghetto every day another transport. I was with the first. Then we going with the train, but 3 days we coming to Birkenau, Auschwitz. At Birkenau, Auschwitz, we have to leave all packages in the truck, in the wagon. Then we coming down, they divided the men on the women, and the women take the small children with them. They said that tomorrow we go see our familia.
Families, yeah.
Yeah. Then we don't see no more. I hoped always, maybe I go see, maybe I see, but I don't believe it that what they tell us. When they divided the children, they kill right away. On the pregnant woman, they kill right away. On the wie sagt man schwach? Stop. They separate from the strong one, and they divided. They put me between the strong. I was then but 30 years old, and I was a strong man, a very strong man. And they bring me to Birkenau. We was there about 3 days, and they selected the people, everybody with his trade. Then I tell him that I'm a trade from a mechanic. Then they ask me if I am sure with my trade. I tell yes. They send me to a camp concentration, whose name is Jaworzno. Jaworzno, I never see such a shop what is good for my trade. They send me out on the field to make. They put me to work with a shovel to dig the earth. They want to build something there. And I was in Jaworzno approximately 10 months or 11 months up to the time the Russia press and them they have to running away. Then they put us in a march. This was very dangerous. They call a tote march. In Jaworzno, we start to work. Then they give us a little bread for 3 days and a little black coffee without sugar. And then they send us out to the work. And the work was very hard. They start, or the people who take care of the work, they cause 4 arbeiters. That's very rough. They beat it down everybody. On the lunchtime, they bring out and they give a little soup. I don't know with what it was mixed. Sometimes we find a potato, and not more. And with this we work up to in the night. When we're coming home, then we have to stay on the ground. We stay on the yard, and they make an appeal. They count the people. It takes about 2 hours. They was finished. And they count everybody if it's raining or snowing or bad weather. We have to stay there. And when we was finished, then they left to go in the barracks. In the barracks, then we get the supper. Also a little soup, water, and I don't know with what it was mixed. Then if I have the wet clothes, I can take off myself to go in the bed. I have to sleep with. If not, up to in the morning is never be dry, then I can put on again. In the morning was the same thing. We going up from the bed very early, and they make again an appeal to count the people, then divided to the work again. It takes another 2 hours. And this time when they make the appeal, they have to be everybody very straight. If not, one on the other line, if not, they get beaten there in the morning right away. And then when they divided to the work, we're going out from the camp with the stop. When we're going out from the camp, then the soldiers from both sides with his guns, they escort us to the work. Then when we're coming to the work, it was already there other soldiers in the tours who watch nobody going out. And there we have to work on the Vorarbeiters was very rough. They beat the people there. And every day they shows who is a stronger man. We have to bring home the people was beaten, they can no more going, or was very weak, they can go in the foot, or they was already died. And I was one who have every day this job to bring home from the work some people who mostly dying. When we arrived to Jaworno, they placed there approximately about 2,000 people. 3 months later, is left already only 500. Then they ask for other transport. Then it's coming new transport to make always to be in this camp, but 2,000 on stop. Sometimes it's happened that somebody running out from there, they miss. Then they let go home the people so long as they find them. If they don't find them, the whole working camp was punished. Sorry, stop. If somebody miss, the Germans, the SS people, they promise a bread and a piece of salami for this man who find the missing one. Most of the time, not Jewish people was they who miss or running away, but they don't have no who help him outside. Anyway, this was only non-Jewish people. This group, from which they was missing one, they was beaten. All people who worked together with them, why they let him running away. We was there in Jaworno approximately to February. In February we have to going out.
What year was that? What year?
Dat was in year 1944. February 1945, I'm sorry. 1945, you can Robert. They put us in the march, then we have to running very fast. There was a lot of people who have they can't go no more. They was sick or they lose, they forced to go. Then the people who was strong enough, they have to help him out. Then I remember a man that was with me together. Then they give me that they help me with another man. We take him under the arm and we help him go. In between, he lose his whole force. He can't go no more. He become unconscious. Then they have to pull him by the hand. We pull him by the hand so long he starts to screaming. When he starts to scream, we stop. And the SS man was on the back from us. He running us to go. He hit us with the gun to running. Then we stop, and I see that the man roll up the whole pants, and we pull him on the frozen earth, and he was scratched on his stomach, his knees. The whole body was bloody. Then I try him to put back his pants. My finger was so frozen I can button his pants, and no belts this time for nobody, only with the button. We can't do it. Then the SS man force us to go, and we go again. We pull him on the floor. We don't take care that he's screaming. After the transport, that was already advanced, they stopped for some reason. We coming there, and I give it over the man for a SS man, and I ask him, please give us somebody else. I can't do it no more. Then they give him for other two people that they bring him. And I myself are running to the front from the transport that they don't catch me again for this kind of work. Later on, we stop again, and I see the same man was bringing of a bar. He was bended on two, his hand and the foot was pulling down to the air, and they bring him on the shoulders, with the bar on the shoulders. And I think they are very smart, that they find a bar and they don't pull him. Then, this day, they place in a place who was there before, cows and animals, and we have to sleeping over the night there. It was a very cold night, and I laying down in waters, and I was very wet, and other people laying to my side, from both sides. In mid in the night, I feel with somebody laying on my chest, and I can't breathe no more. Then I start to ask him, comrade, go down from me. I tell him in Jewish, in Hungarian, in Polish, in Russian, in German, all language that I coming in my mind, I tell him to go down. He don't move. Then I lose up my hand, that was pressed between the people, and start him to punch it. Then he woke up. He tell me, if you punch me, I strangle you. Then I tell him, you know what? Don't strangle me. Let me go out. And I start to lose myself between the people, and I stand up, and the people squeeze together right away, and my both foot were between the people, and I can't going out, and I stay there in the middle so long that I lose up my one foot, and I make a long step, and I step on the people that laying there, and they start to kick me so long that I lose up my second foot, and I running on the top of the people up to the door. I coming out, and it was very cold night, and my back was wet, and I can't go back in the place again where it was a lot of people lying there on the door. It was live people and dead people. Anyway, I can't go in. And I start to think what to go do now. Outside, if I stay outside, I die. If I go inside, I can't do it. I sat down on a stone there, and I started thinking what to do. The night was very clear, a moon very light, and stars very light, and cold, very cold. Maybe it was 30 degrees or 40 degrees this time. And so when I sit there, then I see a man pass through, and I recognize him. This was the same man that I helped to go out from the camp, and I pull him by the hands. And I tell him, hey, you remember me? You know me? May he know me? He know me from the camp, and he know me that I help him. I tell him, you know what? You are a dead man. He's looking at me. He said, may you are crazy. I'm not dead. May you are crazy. No, he left me there. Then I started thinking, maybe I'm dead also. How I can find out if I'm dead? I remind you, when I going in the school in Haider, then they talking about if somebody don't know that he's dead or alive, they have to pinch himself, and then I feel if he's hurt, then he's alive. If not, then he's dead. They start to pinch myself in my hand. My finger was so frozen, I can't pinch myself. Then I can know decided if I am alive or dead man. Anyway, I try to push myself in the barrack where we sleeping there, and waited for tomorrow morning when we make the march again. Then we start to march. We going, then they stop. We can go on the highway where the Russia occupied already. Then the Germans make with us a shortcut through a forest. And in this forest, it was so dangerous that they start to shoot in the people. If somebody falling down, they shoot him. If somebody help to stand up somebody, they shoot them also. Then we start to running very fast. In the beginning, everybody help the other to stand up. Later on, we don't help it no more. In between, I falling down myself too. Right, I falling down, right away I fell in sleep. I have no more enough force trying to stand up. And I turn my head to the back. Where is the soldier, the SS man? Why I feel it when he coming close, then he shoot me. And I don't know how somebody give me a hand. They catch me by my shoulder, they stand me up, but I never see the man. I don't know who do that. And I running another whole day after that, up we coming to another camp, what's called Blechhammer. In Blechhammer, we sleep over one night. The next day in the morning, they selected. The very weak they leave there, and the stronger one they take with them. And they leave there a couple SS people to watch us, so nobody can go out from this barrack. On the late afternoon, we see a big fire, and the people start to looking through the window. They find out that no more soldiers there, and they burn up the kitchen. See there? Stop. When they find out there's no more soldiers there, they slowly start to going out, and they go in the direction from the kitchen, and somebody bring in food, like onions. One man bring in a bag with onions. He don't want to give nobody, but he don't know how long he has to stay there. And he said he give nobody onions. He want to keep it for himself. Anyway, the other people going out too. They find out there is still there a soldier. When they shoot everybody who going there, they shoot. Later on, we see a big fire, and then they find out there's no more soldiers there. They burn up the kitchen, and they're running away. Then I looking myself through the window. I was in the toilet bed in the top, and I can't go down. I looking through the window. I see that everybody prepare himself already food, and I'm very hungry. I don't eat already 3 days, and I'm very weak, and I can't go down from the bed. But my foot were swollen from the running this 3 days. So I see this is not a business to stay on the bed there. Everybody eating and myself, no. Then I let falling down my cover, my everything, and I roll myself, and I falling down from the toilet bed to the floor. And a little while I lying there, and I go out, and I offer my help for somebody there who cooking already. Everybody refuse. Then what I can do, I going myself to the kitchen. Is what's not so easy. I have to go on four and on my hand on my knees. I can't stand on my foot. I coming in the kitchen, and I found there right away a pail with clean potatoes. It was already prepared with water. And I take it, I go and go to this fire there, and I start, and I prepare with 2 bricks, and I put there my pail, and I start to make a good fire to cook there. Between I say, my neighbor make already some plätzl from flour, and I start to talk him, you know what, give me 1 plätzl, give me 1. I'm so hungry. No, he don't give it, he need it for a lot of people who is sick there in his place. Then I start to make better fire for my potatoes, and I start to think, why I need so much potatoes? It takes very long to cook. Maybe I bring only a couple potatoes to cook. Between that, I see 2 young men find it that in the burning place there is a little pig, a chazer, and they put together the fire, take it apart, when they was young, they jump in the middle. And they start right away eat from this pig there what they find. And I was very jealous. They eat already pig, and my potatoes they don't want cook. And I put better fire, and I'm busy with my pail there. Once I see the two young men leave there the pig. And I was very curious to see that, why they live there. And I take a long bar and start to bring to the board, closer to me, this little thing. And when I bring there completely to me, I start to observe it, to see what that is. And I find out that not a pig, that's a born man. The next day, then I understand why they leave there, the pig. Next day in the morning, I find out that was a barrack who people was there inside on the enjoyment when they leave. Then they burn up the whole thing, and then I see it, not one, I maybe I see 100 lying on the floor, these things. Then I see a lot of burning bodies there, and then coming in French people, you know, was also, maybe was healthier, or they coming with the photograph machines, and they ask the people who can help to get together the bodies to bring them to the grave. Then the same day, we find out that the Russians are already there. We was very happy that the Russians is there already, we are free. In the afternoon, we find out that through the forest is coming back a couple Germans, and they pick up all people that they find on the yard, and they take them with them, and it's take me another 3 months to become a free man.
Now there's just a couple of questions I'd like to ask you. About Beitar, you belong to the youth organization, Beitar. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
I was in the organization that's calling Baetar. And this time I was only 70 years old, and I was I have to go in the Czech army to make my service. Then in the Baetar, we're coming together a couple times a week, Saturday, Sunday. We're singing there, the boys going out like Boy Scouts, and they going in the forest, and they make exercises, and playing, and we make a little activity too. We work for the Israel products. We go make propaganda for the oranges, for the Haifa oranges, Jaffa oranges, to the people to buy it. And we help out the bigger organizations sometime to get strong. That's all.
Did you know what was happening to the Jews of Poland? Did you get some information, not believe it?
No, we don't know nothing. We know that the Polish Jews is in a very bad situation, but what's happened there we never know. It was completely isolated. Nobody gave us the information about that.
Do you remember any of the Germans' names or faces? Do you remember in particular Dr. Mengele?
I'm sorry, I can tell you that I was so afraid that I'm afraid to look in the face for this type of people. When I look at somebody on the face, I get right away a big hit with a stick what they have in the hand. And from this time on, I going to the side, I don't even look when I come with them closer. Too much terror.
In the concentration camps you were in, was there any attempts to escape? Was there like an organized underground, a planned resistance, contacts with the outside maybe?
we don't have no contact. Jewish people have no contact with nobody, and we was very weak, and we was very under a big terror. Not only the German terrorized us, even the non-Jewish people that was there, they was enemies for the Jewish people there, that we can move nothing in this place.
Was there medical attention of any kind in the concentration camp? Was there a hospital? If you were ill, could you go there?
There was the most time in Jaworzno, it was some hospital, it's called Krankenbau. It was very dangerous there to go. If somebody coming there with some minor, what the doctor think is a minor sickness, they will come from the doctor self-beaten. If somebody coming there so sick, he's dying there, they keep him there. Otherwise, it was very dangerous to go there with something what is not very serious.
In the ghetto Hust, did you have a Judenrat? If you did, can you describe the development and the organization of it throughout it?
Yeah, it was there a Judenrat, but the Germans appointed who go be the Ältester from the Judenrat. But they suffer themselves very much. If they can do that what the Germans ask, they was beaten. When they coming out to talk to the people, they crying themselves. They was beaten very much when they can do this what they ask from them.
What was the Judenrat's specific function? What was their job?
In Ghetto Hust, it was a very short time, the whole thing, the Judenrat. And the Judenrat, this time the Judenrat's function was to put together the transport. And it was very hard job. Nobody won't go with a first transport, and he can collect together the people. Then when the Germans see is not exactly what they wanted, then the Judenrat itself come beaten.
Now, regarding the Jewish police, you yourself told me you were picked to be in the Jewish police. Can you tell me your job, your role in the police force?
We have there only a guard, not exactly a police. The Ältester from this section, they nominate the young men to be by the door from the ghetto without weapon, without nothing, to watch. There's nobody coming in. Then I have such experience with the gendarmerie, the Hungarian gendarmerie is coming to the door from the ghetto, then they ask me that they bring them out Jewish girls. And I refuse to do that. I tell him when I'm going in between the girls, it will be such a big screaming that they wake up the whole city. Then I talk to him a little bit, and they leave it. They see that for me they can get nothing, then they leave me. I don't know how they act, the other people, but altogether we was there a couple days, and of my part, it's coming only one time to be a policeman there.
How old were you when you were drafted into the labor force and into the Hungarian army? And describe the unit in which you served and the officers and how they acted towards the Jews.
I was not drafted. They put in all young men. They put in the labor camp. In the first time, after I served the Hungarian army, then nobody can be later in the army. They degraded down all officers, and it was, I think, 39-40 when they put me in the labor camp, and I make labor work in the Hungarian country. Then, this was a couple months, then they sent me home, and then I get another SOS invitation, not invitation, how you said. Then I get an order, it's called SOS, I think, to go right away. And I have to leave my whole family to such a time to be there. It was the collection for the people in a city. It's called Kasho, or Czech they call Kashice. There they concentrate the people, and from there they send us a big transport on the territory. It was Yugoslavia. It was occupied this time from the Hungarian and from the Germans. When I was there the whole summer, the work was to take over the enforcement what they stand up there, the Yugoslav people, and all the Jewish officers was before, and the Jewish soldiers was in this camp, and the non-Jewish was the guards. They call the carrot. They take care there's nobody running away, and they working very good. If not, they will be punished. And that was for the whole summer in this camp. Then the whole winter I was home. On April I was again ordered to coming where they concentrate again. It was again in Kasho. And they prepare a big transport. They send us in 1941, 42, 43, they send us to Russia. We go to Russia through Kiev. We make a couple stops, and then I was there 18 months. I can't tell you the dates. I forgotten. I have marked someplace. I can keep in my head the dates. There in Russia, we have to work for the army. We bring munition of our shoulders to the soldiers. We make them trenches, and we go with them together in the first lines. Beside that, the partisans that existed this time in these places, they put mines on the ways and the highways. And sometime when the soldiers going through, they busted and they kill a couple people then. Then they coming to another day, they take Jews, 10 people together. They have to catch arm to arm and go before the soldiers approximately 30-50 foot to make clean. If there is a mine, then the Jewish step on them and the Jewish running in the air. Sometimes it's happened that the Jews go through, is nothing happened. When the soldier is coming, then it's happened, then they running in the air. If not, the Jews running in the air. But later on, they find out it's not so good, then they take a Russia prisoner, and they take a rack with a horse, and the first is going through the rack. You know the rack? You know what's a rack, yeah? Sometimes it's happened when the horses go through with the rake, and the Jewish people go through also, and then when the soldiers go through, then it happens that they busted the mine. But not always we have such a good muzzle. The most time the Jewish people running in the air. When explodes the mine. The time when I was in Jaworzno and we going out to the work, we coming back, for a little while I become like a blacksmith in the outside. Where they have no blacksmith, and I offer myself that I can work blacksmith work. And then in the shop it was a little better, especially in the winter time. Beside that, I can help out some people. There in the barracks was stoves, they heated with black coals. And it's very often the grills burned out, or they can make fire, they can make warm themselves. Then, when the SS man turn away or don't see it, then I manufacture it, I make it such grills. Then we can replace for the stove. And for that, I get another portion soup from this barak for whom I bring that. Okay.
You mentioned that the Germans picked up the remainder of the people at Blechhammer in the yard. What happened afterwards, after Blechhammer? Where'd you go from there, and how were you liberated?
After they pick up our people and they bring us to their wagon, we have to pull the wagons, but they have their own things on it. Then we go through Großrosen, Buchenwald, and finally we are liberated in Dachau.
Mr. Solomon, what did you do after the war ended?
After the war ended, I looking how I can get home, and I tried to take my way with the trains, with the trucks, with cars, and I walk up. I coming to my home, and I come back, and I find there already it's very occupied from the Russia.